Okay, so my topic of choice was user experience or UX as it relates to mobile apps. And now UX is a series of questions, what, when, where, why, how, and who. And these questions cover the user experience of the product and everything that affects users' interaction after that with the product. And now the design takes into account both the business needs and the user needs. Now where the two overlap, that's where we have user experience. And then there's 4 life cycles to the user experience design. And that includes measure, design, build, and launch. And throughout those 4 life cycles, every time the user's needs are taken into consideration. And then careful attention to UX is by building a product that your users rave about instead of one that people will basically hate using. Now, users are basically going towards, they're basically going mobile. And with mobile devices, there's always developments of new apps, and that's where the libraries have to be going, is where the users are. And since the users are on smart devices have apps, and that's where we need to be going. Okay, so as more library patrons become accustomed to smartphones and mobile devices, there is an app for everything nowadays, and for example, the library system, Hawaii's library system, we have our own app, and that gives patrons access to their user account as well as mobile library card, and also the online catalog. So basically, it's the mobile library, basically. And the development for that included those 4 life cycles that I had previously mentioned. And with millennials leading the way with smart devices, it is only natural that libraries adapt to fit patron demand and go where the users are. And we have to embrace the design to understand and improve user experience with library services. And in those approaches, we have to include ethnography, holistic, or design thinking approach. And then each of those is actually faced with policy, leadership, and practice in which stakeholders can improve challenges faced by library patrons or to implement new ideas that are beneficial to library patrons. Because the whole idea is to make things easier for the library patrons, but we also have to make things easier for the business aspect, which is the library. Okay, so 2 questions I was asked. While incorporating apps into our library systems to maximize convenience and drawing patrons is a positive thing, do you see any potential for predatory financial towards the general public? Well, there is potential for predatory financial practices towards the general public, and I would say always use a secure Wi-Fi connection. You never use one that's open, because basically that's how you put all of your personal business on display. And I do think it is part of our ethical duties as librarians to inform the public about that. And it is, online theft is becoming more and more of an issue now, but you always have to be aware of what you're doing. Is it safe? If you don't feel it's safe, then I would say don't do it. And then the next question is, what procedures are you using to encourage patrons in use of apps, and how are you advertising the apps? Okay, so those actually go hand in hand of what I do here at the library. Whenever a patron applies for a library card or they get a replacement card, we always offer them as a backup. They can download our mobile app, and that'll give them access to their mobile library card and the online catalog and all that other good stuff that I had mentioned previously. And then if a patron comes in and they forget their library card, we always remind them that they can use the mobile app to do that as well. And then that's the other way that we advertise it, is when they come in, or when we have class visits, or when we have group visits, or even programs. We have a whole bunch of flyers that we lay out for people to take at their convenience, or if they want, they can just give us a call down at the library, or they can come in person and we can notify them of that. But yeah, basically the user experience, you know, it should be efficient for not only the user but the business as well, and it should also be efficient for everybody. Okay, I guess that's it. Alright, thanks, bye.